Hey everyone. So I decided to change up pace a little bit. As you can see, I decided to film this entire video using my smartphone in a normal camera, just for the sake of gimmick, by the way. Yep, I have Spencer here at least to keeping company here and there. But why I am doing something gimmicky, not filming my usual way, just holding my smartphone like that, because I decided to vlog about that latest movie I have seen, and not at a movie theater. I just watched it on streaming, and that movie is none other than War of the Worlds of the 2025 edition. Ah man, okay. I This is something that just came out of the radar, almost like a shadow drop. Because, and you know what? I read the book, I saw some of the movies, and well, now we got this edition that I was like, okay, okay, fair enough. I learned about this while I was chatting with my friend, and they were like, "Hey, have you seen this War of the World 2025? It looks garbage." And I was like, "Really? There's another one?" So I watched the trailer, and it looks something that is a little bit of my alley about these kind of movies that are so bad that it's hilarious. I always kind of I get attracted to watch train wrecks like that. So here I am. Here I am. I actually just finished watching the movie kind of like 10 minutes ago. I decided to set. Well, thinking of setting up, I was like, you know what? This movie has that gimmick that I decided to make this vlog like that, just for the sake of gimmick. Okay, but before that, what I did read the book, by the way, and I will say that most of the stuff that I remember, I just forgot about it. Okay, let's go with the elephant in the room, in which one of the worlds is most prominently known because of that thing that Orson Welles did, in which he made a radio show, and there was this. I think it was an urban legend saying that it caused mass panic because of the radio, and how realistic it sounded and all this stuff. That kind of thing it really became kind of like an urban legend, and almost like a cautionary tale about believing in fiction and all this stuff. I'm not gonna go too much into detail. I just was rambling what's on top of my head. But anyway, I didn't hear the real thing. But I remember that I did read the book after kind of like the Steven Spielberg adaptation, in which I'll get to that, by the way. There are some adaptations here and there. There's kind of like I think there was kind of like one or two versions of the when it's about movies, and none of them, of course, was getting a little bit close to be faithful to the novel, but still they have kind of like the same idea. Yeah. I did watch the second version, where you see the aliens that look like a Simon machine. But I barely kind of remember that one. I have to watch it if I got my free time some other day. But the one that I do remember the most is the Stephen King version, in which the one that has Tom Cruise in it and Dakota Fanning. And unfortunately, that version of the movie doesn't hold well, and that is because Dakota Fanning, basically, she kind of ruins the whole movie, because she is, how can I say, she's very annoying. She's very annoying, and doesn't hold a candle on how annoying, and sometimes how misleading the whole thing is. Although, for the movie's credit, I do like the effect of the tripods, and the robots that the alien control and all this stuff. Uh, and I know that there are some other versions of this movie. There is one that is an asylum version, in which people really don't like it because it's so boring. And but honestly, I've been hearing that this one is kind of like the most faithful adaptation from the novel. So, so that's pretty much what I know about the world, the worlds. Now we got this one in which it stars Ice Cube, and I've been hearing that this movie was filmed 5 years ago during COVID, and this is the reason why they have kind of like a limited budget. And you know that movies that were made during COVID doesn't exactly have a track record of being kind of like good because everyone is isolated, people can do anything, and this kind of ruined kind of like the mood of the. I thought that this is kind of like a poor excuse, and considering the style from what I saw from the trailer, this is one of those movies that really wanted to pick up on the gimmick that this horror movie named Unfriended did. Sorry, the one that the whole movie takes place on social media. They all talk on the cameras and all this stuff. This gimmick, like I said, is an interesting gimmick, but but it kind of showcased that it did grow old too fast because a lot of things doesn't make sense. It kind of showcased how people on Hollywood doesn't even know how social media really works. The only one that is kind of close to come as decent, at least on knowing that knowledge, is Searching. I remember I saw that movie years ago, but technically that was became kind of like a very forgettable kind of thing, especially for a movie that takes place an hour and 30 seconds, an hour and 30 minutes. But now they got the Water World things, and I finally saw it. It's That movie is a gold mine of dog turds. That was god awful. The Water World 2025 was awful. And you know what? If you're kind of like in a mood of watching a train wreck, you're gonna have something to laugh about. I was laughing my butt off this train wreck. It's and you know what? The reviews don't lie. It's a train wreck. It's awful. A lot of the things that you think it goes wrong, it goes amazingly wrong. The acting, editing, the choices that they made, the even the messaging, the themes, the whole thing that it was supposed to be a War of the Worlds. It's totally the total disaster. This is a disaster of a movie, and it's not something that you go in a movie theater. It's a movie that's on Amazon Prime, and guess what? This movie is so much on Amazon Prime that even Amazon is part of the movie itself. It's a self-promoting film that is just this for an H.J. Wells adaptation of War of the Worlds. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassing film, but it lacks soul. But I am, for some reason, I am glad that I saw it at least once, and I don't want to touch it again because this was a disaster, and and obviously this is gonna top one of my worst movies of the year. But I don't know if I could put it higher or something. But yeah, definitely gonna be higher. But most of my the ones that are on the top, are usually the ones that make me angry. This one doesn't make me angry, but it makes me feel like pity. It's just pitiful. It's pitiful that we get kind of like movies like that. But still, I kind of encourage these kind of horrible movies because it brings people together to just laugh and if it's embarrassing things. Okay, so let's go with this. So basically, War of the Worlds it has always a simple premise in every single incarnation. Basically, you have planet Earth. You got that kind of like our characters, and then aliens come down from the sky, whatever it goes. Apparently from lightning, thunder, whatever they do. Or in this case, yeah, there's kind of like the weather, and aliens come a meteor, and then they surge from the they surged into these robotic things that are called tripod because they look like three things, and then they destroy the world. So basically, that's kind of like the typical War of the Worlds thing in almost everything. This one included, but in this case, the whole thing mostly centered on this government spy agent. I think he was called Will Red Raymond or something like that. He's played by Ice Cube, who he basically is trying. He's trying to pursue this. He's trying to pursue this hacker. This hacker. The hacker, the disruptor, as it was called, a hacker named the disruptor because, well, he's stealing government secrets, but unfortunately, Ice Cube is also doing something more unethical than stealing government secrets. He basically is spying on everything. Because he's a government agent. And the world looks at is everyone spying on them. He uses the government to not just spy on anything. He's just spying on his own family, his two children, because he loves his wife and all this stuff. He's kind of like overprotective, and he even talks to them and say, "Hey, I saw you," and he even monitors his daughter's credit card account and he just scolds her because she bought a muffin. And you know what? That concept is more scarier than the aliens. How can you do that? Yeah, the guy monitors his daughter, who she's pregnant. And also, she has a boyfriend who is an Amazon delivery. You got here's the Amazon plug-in that you know, and also he has a son who basically he doesn't talk to. He has kind of like a rocky relationship because, well, the son is kind of like a slob and he likes video gaming, and so he say that, hey, but I'm streaming or something like that, and of course, he's still, with the government things in order to catch this hacker named the Disruptor. And of course, then the aliens come. And basically, it turns in this whole movie. Most of the whole movie, apart from Unfriended, is basically an hour and 30 minutes of Ice Cube giving his most insincere reaction video you have ever seen. It's the whole and of course you get to see cameras moments of the aliens and all this stuff, and if you know what, it could be like any other alien invasion, but the fact that it's just named War of the Worlds feels kind of like a disservice because you don't feel like War of the Worlds. And considering that the movie showcased this dystopia that the government sees everything what you do, and there's cameras everywhere, drones everywhere, they're watching for you on it, you feel like the alien invasion is mostly kind of like a salvation. And of course they kind of want to implement story elements that the aliens, what they're doing is pretty bad. I'll get to that. But again, and also because everything is on the soulless and showing everything on camera. No one has kind of like this touch. Almost nobody has touches. Make a physical contact except by between two characters who is the Amazon guy and the daughter, and of course some pictures. You don't feel like there's human connection in it, and this is what kills off the. You don't care about the character, especially with an asshole father who uses government fundings in order to spy on their kids and monitoring them, and this is not just borderline creepy. It's also borderline unethical, and it just So, but yeah, we got the acting. The acting is really awful, and I know that Ice Cube it can be a talented actor, but in this case you can't help it. He just there making reacting to almost everything, and it's so phony, and also kind of buy the destruction that is coming out all around everything, because barely you see Ice Cube being it almost feels like he's in a safe place. It doesn't get safe for a while, but man, that it doesn't go with there. And of course, we got the daughter who also is kind of like a blank slate. She's pregnant, and she's pregnant. Then there is the kid who he is. You know what? I don't care if I spoil too much about the movie. I'll leave it, later. This kid has kind of like this rocky relationship, but there are moments he's like, "Dad, I have to tell you something," and he's like, "No, I don't want to hear you something." And the kid is like, "No." Although the whole, and there is no human emotion, which is basically the kid. The kid should have kind of like a grudge against his father, but it doesn't show it. Uh, there's also kind of like this NASA woman who kind of helps him, and it helps him, finding what is going on with this, with the aliens. There's also the government people who, one of them is an asshole, of course. Then I'll tell you why, and then nothing much, nothing less, and it feels very forgettable. Cinematography is, like I said, it's unfriended, but you can tell that this movie feels like it has ADD, because it moves in kind of like a rapid pacing on showing what this guy is doing, what this guy he's gonna make all these calls, and then or sometimes he goes to YouTube, or sometimes he goes to Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook, WhatsApp, and all these apps that he goes to monitor all these things, a lot of social media stuff, and combine, what he with that he knows how to use the program and all that stuff. It's even more baffling than even Unfriended himself. I mean, Unfriended was an incompetent movie, but at least for the benefit of them all, at least I could understand Befriended in some way or another, even though there are some incompetent things about it. This one, it's almost feel like it wants that we just, it's like Searching, I would say. If you saw the movie Searching, in which it combines a lot of social media stuff and all that. All the Searching also have kind of like a consistent pace that I could get to, but this one, man. And also, it's pretty surprising that despite the chaos, social media is still going on. Because I'm pretty sure that when aliens invade and they have this destruction, a lot of the signals are gonna be destroyed. The services are gonna be gone. I mean, imagine the Verizon satellite get destroyed. Nobody will have internet. Nobody will have it. But no, no. These guys probably have the most powerful Wi-Fi in the world. And yeah, again, these are the people who doesn't know that modern videos or modern streaming, they never make static noises when there is kind of like interruption or something like that. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. And so pretty much, yeah, the movie feels like it has ADD. This is the thing that how the pacing of it feels like ADD, and it makes the whole thing, for a movie that is only an hour and 30 minutes, it really feels like it drags on and on and on. It's so really slow. uh, Okay, what else I could talk about? What else I could talk this movie? Even Spencer is almost falling asleep with that. Okay. Yeah, yeah, CGI. You can notice that is pretty bad. There's a moment in which I can really see the green screen, and well, and also they have kind of like this movie have million times excuses of why people have to, use film themselves, because hey, hold on, I'm gonna hold on to myself and all this stuff, but Jesus. uh, uh, elements about the movie. I'll say that the movie wanted to make kind of like an insincere theme of uh, it's about how the government is spying on us, and how they always collect our data in order to, well, to keep people secure. But because even Ice Cube, as he wanted to be, he spies under children because he wants to make them feel safe and all this stuff. This is kind of like the typical excuse that every government you say that, okay, we're gonna put all this data implementation because we have to collect your data so we can see who is doing wrong and all that stuff, and for the sake of security and all that stuff. And now that I think about it, even though this movie was made 5 years ago, I think maybe this movie was already made, but nobody thought that that this is. Uh, Sorry, there's some people, on the apartment over there. People will say, okay, like I was saying, maybe this movie was shelved for many years ago because they thought it was a dumb movie. But apparently, apparently because of the theme that it does, and, well, to put it bluntly, but to make it a little bit subtle with some of the things that are happening right now, this is why this movie is. This is why this movie came out. I wanted to take advantage of some of the things that are happening right now. I'll put it like that, quickly. I don't like to talk about these things. This is not the time and place. But, God, that again. Even if how something that before the aliens came, it feels more dystopic than an alien invasion. and and a lot of the things that happen also comes up, like out of the blue. They wanted to make kind of like an excuse by saying that the aliens, they feed on data. Uh, and somehow they come kind of like, how can I say, they are these guys are kind of like two steps always ahead of them. It causes a catastrophe because the alien basically hacks the whole system. By the way, now I go with the spoiler territory, but I don't care. The father discovers that his son was the disruptor, and at this point, I wanted uh the movie could have been a little bit more, well, quote unquote, better if the son, instead of being kind of like forgiving or something like that, he was like, well, you never listened to me, so I'm the one who called the aliens. And you know what? We all had this coming. And this is your fault, father, for being an asshole with me. That doesn't happen, but I kind of wish that it could have that happen. And then they find out that the aliens are a hybrid between Next and organism. And out of the blue, we have kind of like the daughter who she got a big leg injury, and she was, and by the way, yeah, the father, she got carried to a nearby destroyed hospital by carrying the daughter with an automatic car in which it was driven by his tag security thing. This is more, again. They control. It's almost like the government controls almost everything. They hack and control everything. It's scary. And of course, there's also the Amazon guy who's her boyfriend. And then comes up with the daughter. The daughter even made a cannibal virus that basically self cannibalizes itself, which it serves as a solution. And then we get kind of like this dumb thing in which they have to give the father a USB, and then we got the guy. He managed to he managed to, how can I say, to control an Amazon drone, which is kind of like the most stealthiest Amazon drone you could ever see by avoiding the alien's laser. And there's kind of like this stupid moment in which they find some random guy because the drone just flips and it's on the floor, and they want the guy to to flip it over. They send him text messages, and because apparently the guy is using text messages, they hack into his account and say, hey, flip the drone. Are you crazy? Why are you doing this? We'll make the government give you free internet. What, to spy on us? Okay. We'll give you a $1,000 gift card from Amazon. Fine by me. Ah, are you sure that? I swear that this movie was directed by Jeff Bezos and not. What's the name of the director? What's the name of the director? Okay, there's a user review of the War of the Worlds thing. Rich Lee. Let me see what IMDb here. What this guy produced? He was Minority Report, but visual effects. But Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay. Oh, here's the directors. Not much, I will say. Not much. A lot. Probably a lot of direct-to-video things, but man, but man, you know what? I don't believe it. I believe Jeff Bezos, Jeff Bezos was part of it. Oh, wait a minute. Can you believe that one of the writers they they put H.G. Wells as one of the writers? I don't think so. First of all, H.G. Wells is dead, and I don't think that H.G. Wells will have approved this. But oh my God, this was a train wreck. Let me tell you. Okay, I think I talk enough much about it. I am even watching my clock, and my hands are getting tired of holding it. But here's the thing, guys. This 2025 War of the Worlds is a catastrophe. It's a train wreck. And you know what? If you're in the mood, I can at least tell you that you can watch this movie, see to see mediocrity. But if you're in a good mood, you're gonna get you're gonna laugh on how stupid this whole thing is. It's a mess. It's a disaster. it's this is I don't know what to say. I'm just baffled. The more I keep talking about it, I'm just so baffled about what this thing is. You know what? Although this movie is right, with so much going on with all these things, the world spying on us and all this stuff. You know what? I'm gonna go outside and touch grass.